the list of my top tips for your refinishing project. First, go with a solid color on refinishing. It is way less labor intensive. No hassle and mess with the stripping, sanding everything down, and there's so much you can do with the solid colors. You can do glazes, you can do pin stripping, you can do so much. You can do dry glaze, wet glaze, you can do different sheens. There's so much. So solid color over full strip refinishing and going with the stain and clear coat. Second, cleaning and degreasing. It is extremely important. Even if you sand, but if you sand with that fat on, you're not doing anything other than just, spreading that fat around. Third, sanding. The more aggressive we go on sanding, the better our bond is. Guys, it's pretty straightforward. Mechanical bond is what we need for our top coat to hold up. I mean, light sand, scuff sand, it is okay when we're talking about new, fresh paint. But when we deal with old, cured coatings, and especially with rough wood, it is extremely important to go an extra mile and get everything sanded really, really nicely. Tip number 4, isolating coatings. We don't know what's on the surface right now, so it's always a good idea to get the adhesion and to encapsulate everything that we have going on the existing surface. Number 5, sanding in between coats. Always, if your previous coat is fully dry, always sand in between coats. It is extremely important. Again, adhesion, bond, we need to do that unless we spray wet on wet, meaning if our previous coat is still wet and it hasn't dried yet, we can go over top with the polyurethanes only. It is not recommended to go wet on wet when we deal with pre-catalyzed lacquers and conversion varnishes. But when we deal with polyurethanes, you can absolutely spray wet on wet, then you don't need that sanding in between. But otherwise, if it's already dry, if you left it overnight, you definitely need to sand in between coats, so you're following coats, you're following films of paint stick to the previous coats. 6, durable and quality paints. When we put all the numbers together, the cost of materials is nothing compared to our labor and the sweat equity that we put into this project. There's so much that goes into it, and choosing the right product will save you so much time. Imagine if you finished everything and the paint is failing and it doesn't perform as good as you wanted, and you saved a few bucks. I mean, literally, like $30, $50, $100. Is it really worth it when you spend days and days sanding, cleaning, spraying, and then it fails? I'm a big fan of quality stuff, so choosing the right products, choosing the right paints is extremely important. But having said that, number 7, use the appropriate materials for specific situations. For example, when we're talking about kitchen refinishing, we are in the environment where we cook, where we have some temperature changes, steam, smells, fat, oils. All this good stuff needs to be cleaned off, meaning we're gonna use some chemicals. So here in the kitchen, we can't really use any single component product if we want our kitchen to last. But on the other hand, when we're talking about any other standalone type of stuff, I mean TV stand, built-ins, where we don't have a lot of traffic, it doesn't have to be as durable as our kitchen. So make sure you choose the right product for each and every situation.